What happens when a power-hungry predator, used to getting away with everything, meets his match in a daughter who's about to turn his world upside down, and maybe even make him wish he'd stayed in bed that morning? It started on a Friday evening in late October, just after 6:30 p.m., the kind of time when downtown law offices are mostly empty except for the occasional paralegal finishing paperwork or someone like Jasmine Douglas sitting across from her family attorney after what should have been a routine estate meeting. She was in her father's old leather chair, the one the attorney had kept for her. Nothing dramatic, just worn, comfortable, and carrying the faint scent of her father's cologne. Jasmine had been listening quietly, nodding along to the standard legal language, her mind already planning the drive home when everything changed. But then the attorney slid a manila folder across the mahogany desk, and the words that followed made her stomach drop. Across town, in a glass-walled penthouse office on the 32nd floor, William Jeremy stood by floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, a crystal tumbler of aged scotch in hand, reviewing the same case file with quiet satisfaction. He was dressed in his signature charcoal suit, tie loosened just enough to suggest he was off the clock, but never really off duty. Confident, comfortable, in control. William had done this before, dozens of times in fact, identified the vulnerable estates, created airtight paper trails, backdated agreements, forged signatures that could pass casual inspection, notaries who owed him favors or were conveniently deceased, then deploy his reputation like a weapon. One letter on his firm's letterhead was usually enough. Most families folded before discovery even began. His penthouse office told the story his words never would. Original artwork, Italian leather furniture, a wine collection worth more than most people's homes. He'd built this empire one settlement at a time, taking what others were too broken to protect. Monday morning, he leaned back in his chair, phone pressed to his ear. Douglas case? 2 weeks max. She's a lawyer, but not estate law. She'll see my name and fold like the rest. His partner laughed. You ever lose one of these, William? Never. The strong take from the weak, Marcus. That's nature. He hung up, supremely confident. He had no idea nature was about to bite back. Jasmine sat on her living room floor that night, surrounded by 15 years of her father's business records, tax returns, and handwritten ledgers. Photos lined the coffee table, her father at his first store opening, at her law school graduation, teaching her to ride a bike. Marcus Douglas had built his logistics company with his bare hands, starting with one delivery truck and a dream. No investors, no shortcuts, just 70-hour weeks and a handshake that meant something. He'd taught her that integrity wasn't negotiable. Anybody can win dirty, Jazz, he'd say. Takes character to win clean. She'd lived by that. Top of her class at Georgetown, 5 years in litigation, 14 trials, 14 wins. But always for clients, never for herself. Personal battles felt too messy, too emotional. She kept them separate. Until now. She examined the alleged debt agreement under her desk lamp, her father's signature glaring back at her. Wrong slant, wrong pressure. Her father always looped his G's, this one didn't. She called his accountant at midnight. Harold, did Dad ever mention William Jeremy? Never heard the name. His business partner confirmed the same. Your father would have told us about any significant debt. This doesn't add up, Jasmine. She could settle, move on, grieve in peace. Instead, she pulled out her laptop and started building a case file. I'm not letting him steal what my father built. Jasmine didn't sleep that week. She hired Dr. Patricia Chen, the best forensic document analyst in the state. 3 days later, Chen called with results that made Jasmine's blood run cold. The signatures forged. Pressure points are wrong. Ink composition suggests it was written 18 months after the alleged date. And here's the kicker. The document was printed on paper stock that didn't exist 2 years ago. Then Jasmine found the notary. Except she didn't. Linda Harrington, the woman who supposedly witnessed her father's signature, had died in a car accident 14 months before the document was allegedly signed. That's when Jasmine started digging into William's history. Late nights, public records, court databases. She found 47 cases, all estates, all self-made business owners, disproportionately minority families, all settled within weeks, none going to trial. This wasn't a debt collection. This was a hunting ground. Then she found her father's journal tucked in his desk drawer. The final entry, dated 1 week before his heart attack, stopped her cold. William Jeremy approached me today about a partnership opportunity. Everything in my gut says predator. I'm documenting everything, recording our conversations. If anything happens to me, Jasmine will know what to do. She's stronger than she knows. Her hands shook. He'd seen it coming. He'd prepared for this. Her father had left her the ammunition. Now she just needed to pull the trigger. Jasmine filed her counterclaim on a Tuesday morning. Fraud, forgery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and a motion for sanctions against William Jeremy personally. 43 pages of surgical legal precision, backed by forensic reports, pattern evidence, and her father's journal entries. William's paralegal dropped the envelope on his desk during lunch. He glanced at it, smirked, then actually read it. The smirk died. "Get me everything on Jasmine Douglas, now." 2 hours later, his associate returned, pale. She graduated top 5% Georgetown, 5 years litigation, 14 trials, 14 wins. She specializes in, he swallowed, corporate fraud cases. William's jaw tightened. She's bluffing. Send her the standard package, 20-page response, discovery demands, make it overwhelming. Jasmine responded in 48 hours. Every argument countered, every motion matched. The legal community started whispering someone was actually fighting back. Eleanor Price, her former professor, showed up at her apartment unannounced. "This will destroy you emotionally. Are you ready for that?" "He stole from my father," Jasmine said quietly. "I'm already paying the cost." William tried settling, dropped the fraud claim, he'd walk away. Jasmine's response was 2 sentences. "I want you in court, on record, under oath. See you at trial." William stared at his phone, realization dawning. This wasn't going away. Jasmine built her case like a prosecutor dismantling an empire, brick by brick. Dr. Chen took the stand first, projecting microscopic images of the signatures. The pressure points are inconsistent with natural writing. The ink composition dates to 2023, not 2022 as claimed. This signature was forged, and the document was backdated. William's attorney objected, overruled. Next came the financial records, 10 years of her father's business accounts, meticulously organized. Not a single transaction, email or invoice involving William Jeremy or his firm, Jasmine stated calmly. Her father's business partner testified next, his voice cracking. "Marcus told me everything, every deal, every risk, every partnership. He never mentioned William Jeremy, not once." Then, the dead notary. Jasmine displayed Linda Harrington's death certificate alongside the allegedly notarized document. Miss Harrington died March 15, 2023. This document claims she notarized it on June 3, 2023. She let that sink in. Ghosts don't notarize documents. 2 families William had previously targeted took the stand, voices shaking but determined. He said if we didn't settle, he'd drag it out for years. We couldn't afford to fight. William's jaw clenched tighter with each witness. His attorneys objected to everything. Relevance, hearsay, prejudice. The judge overruled them all. Finally, Jasmine held up her father's journal, reading the final entry aloud. "If anything happens to me, Jasmine will know what to do." Even the judge paused. The truth was undeniable now. William took the stand because he had no choice. His attorneys had advised against it, but staying silent now would be admitting defeat. He maintained the lie beautifully at first, calm, authoritative, the picture of wounded legitimacy. Mr. Douglas and I had a verbal agreement that he later tried to back out of. I simply documented what we'd already agreed upon. Then Jasmine stood for cross-examination. She approached slowly, deliberately, holding enlarged copies of both signatures. Mr. Jeremy, can you explain why your signature uses a different pen pressure than my father's authentic documents? Pen pressure varies. Can you explain why the ink wasn't commercially available 6 months after this was supposedly signed? William's jaw tightened. I can't speak to technical. How many families have settled with you out of court, Mr. Jeremy? His attorney shot up. Objection. Relevance. Goes to pattern and practice, Your Honor, Jasmine said calmly. I'll allow it. Answer the question, Mr. Jeremy. William shifted. I don't keep count. Jasmine opened a folder. I do. 47 cases in 10 years, all estates of deceased business owners, all settled within weeks. Not one went to trial until now. Why is that? Because they saw reason, William said, but his voice cracked. Jasmine stepped closer. Or because you prey on grieving families who don't have the resources or the will to fight back, because you count on people being too broken to question your lies? William's face flushed crimson. 20 years of control evaporated in an instant. Your father should have been more careful who he did business with. The courtroom exploded. Gasps, murmurs, a juror's audible, oh my God. Jasmine didn't flinch. She simply turned to the judge. No further questions, Your Honor. The mask had fallen. The predator was exposed, and everyone had seen it. 2 days felt like 2 years. When the jury filed back in, Jasmine's hands were steady, but her heart wasn't. In the matter of Douglas versus Jeremy, we find in favor of the plaintiff on all counts. The estate, fully restored. William's claim, dismissed with prejudice. And then the recommendation that made William's face go white. Referral to the state bar and criminal investigation for fraud. William sat frozen as reality crashed down around him. 20 years of untouchable confidence shattered in one verdict. Jasmine didn't celebrate. She just exhaled for what felt like the first time in months. Outside, reporters swarmed. 3 more families came forward that same day, ready to file their own suits. William's world was collapsing. Bar investigation launched, civil suits piling up, criminal charges pending. The predator had become the prey. 1 month later, Jasmine stood at her father's grave holding the court documents. I kept your legacy safe, Dad, just like you knew I would. 6 months after that, she stood before a room of young attorneys at a legal conference, teaching estate fraud recognition. Her father's case, now published, now precedent. My father taught me that integrity isn't just about following rules, it's about protecting those who can't protect themselves. She closed her presentation with the truth William Jeremy learned too late. Power and wealth don't make you untouchable. They just make your fall harder when you cross the wrong person. Stand up, fight back, honor those who believed in you. Please like and subscribe for more stories. Also, comment where you're watching from below. I love you.